Winter is being unlocked. We have a lot of snowstorms moving across the country, and the polar vortex will show up by the middle of January. Welcome back, everyone, to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. If you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns across North America and the tropics, hit the subscribe button down below. And if you want to help me get to 75,000 subscribers by the end of this month, just simply subscribe to the channel and you can help me out there. Also, be sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Looking at our current weather conditions across the United States, we have that system across the mid-Atlantic. This is our first snowstorm that will be moving across the Northeast, but currently we have some snow up here across the upper Great Lakes region and the upper Midwest. This is more nuisance snow. It's not going to be putting down a deep snowpack or anything like that. A dusting, an inch, maybe 2 inches up here into northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and then back into northern Minnesota through the morning hours. But the main show is across the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. We have widespread winter weather headlines across the mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, and New England. In the pink shaded colors here, those are winter storm warnings here. And even in the purples, those are winter weather advisories where we are gearing up for some impactful winter weather going through this upcoming weekend. So today, we do have the snow moving into Pennsylvania around the Poconos and then all the way back there into portions of Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and then a little bit of a damming effect where we have some cold air damming down into the Appalachians that could leave some rain snow mix or even all snow in some cases across West Virginia, northwestern Virginia, and parts of western Maryland there. All rain though further south across much of eastern Virginia and into the eastern Carolinas, southern Maryland and Delaware, even southern New Jersey, seeing that rainfall as well. Going into tonight, you can see that rain snow line moves a little bit further to the north, so areas near Cape Cod, back into Long Island there, southern Rhode Island, we're going to be likely seeing more rain versus snow. The heaviest of the snows will be falling from Boston, back into western Massachusetts, into the Hartford region in Connecticut, and then just north of New York City, say into areas like Albany, New York. We could be seeing some heavier snows into the nighttime hours tonight. Then as we go into Sunday, still seeing those snow bands, but lifting further north and east into Maine, Portland, Maine, definitely getting some snowfall there, back into the Concord, New Hampshire region, Montpelier, Vermont, and then back again into the Albany region, into New York State, seeing some snow as we go into your Sunday time frame. But before it's all said and done, through your Monday morning, here are your total snowfall accumulations. We could be seeing definitely a 5 to 8 inch snowfall event across central and eastern PA. Getting into New York State, especially upstate New York, that's where we could be seeing 8 to 12 plus inches, and then some real heavy snow there for portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, especially southern New Hampshire there, through western and central Massachusetts, and then coastal Maine toward the Portland region. We could be seeing widespread 8 to 12, even upwards to 15 inches of snow as we go through your Monday morning time frame. We also have an ice threat with this system. The rain snow line is going to be hanging down further to the south here, and where those kind of meet together, the rain and the snow, we're going to have a freezing rain and sleet type of mix across western portions of Virginia down into the hills here of the western portions of North Carolina, and this could lead to up to a 1/4 inch or so of ice as we go through the weekend time frame, so make sure you are prepared for that. Although, looking at the Winter Storm Severity Index, brought to you by the Weather Prediction Center, you can see in the yellows, those are minor travel inconveniences, and the orange and then the red, those are moderate to major travel disruptions across that I-95 corridor there and very near it, and then all the way into portions of Boston, getting into Hartford there, north of New York City, especially into Albany, and then back into the Poconos here into Pennsylvania, and then eventually again up into portions of Maine with those travel disruptions. So make sure you are prepared for that. As we go into Sunday as well, as that system is on the way out, we have our second system on the way in across the Four Corners region. This is a 999 millibar low into southeastern New Mexico. We have a trough digging all the way down into the Rio Grande Valley by Sunday night. And looking at this has some cold air aloft for some decent snows across the Rockies. We could be seeing some decent snows into Wyoming, Utah, western Colorado, just west of Denver, getting into portions of eastern Arizona, northwestern New Mexico as we go into that Sunday time frame, and it could be piling up out here as well. Utah, around the Salt Lake City area on south, getting into northern and northeastern Arizona, western Colorado, northwestern New Mexico. We could be talking several inches of accumulating snow on the order of 6+ inches in some of those higher elevations for your Sunday into Sunday night time frame. And zooming it in here, you can see the Flagstaff area, Tucson, and then up there toward portions of Salt Lake City, west of Denver and Colorado there, and very near and northwest of Albuquerque in New Mexico. Into the Four Corners region, we could be talking about widespread 4 to 7+ inches of snow there. Definitely some decent snows for the Pacific Southwest. Then that storm will be kicking off to the east across portions of the southern plains and strengthening to a 997 millibar low on Monday as it does so, and then it'll make that turn up into the western Ohio Valley and continue to strengthen as it moves up toward Indianapolis there and the Fort Wayne, Indiana region on Tuesday, a 981 millibar low pressure by then, and then continuing to strengthen even further from there as it moves into Ontario and Quebec to a 977 millibar low. So looking at this, obviously a strengthening low pressure system will have more impacts for a larger chunk of the country. We have severe weather breaking out across the deep south. We'll be keeping an eye on that. We also have a little bit of a mix of precipitation there across the mid-Missouri Valley, so we'll be watching that for some ice potential, and then the heavy snow on the backside on Monday across eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, northern Missouri, and then back into west central Kansas, and even perhaps down into Amarillo and into the Oklahoma panhandle. Could be seeing some moderate to heavy snow on Monday and Monday night. Then that snow band will be lifting up into places like Milwaukee, Green Bay, Madison, Wisconsin, there into the Davenport Quad Cities, Rockford, Illinois, and then getting back into Kirksville, Missouri down here. Maybe some snow for St. Louis as well on Tuesday. All rain for most of the Ohio Valley. So if you live in Indiana, southern Michigan, into Detroit, getting into much of Ohio, Kentucky, and vicinity, that's going to be rain, and then ongoing severe weather across the deep south and the southeast coast as we go through the day there on Tuesday. And then that system continues to strengthen but exits the picture into eastern Canada by the middle of next week on Wednesday. Overall, let's talk about the severe weather threat. Here is my severe weather outlook on Monday into Tuesday, January 8th into January 9th. And I did add a likely area down here very near the Gulf Coast, near the Houston area, getting into Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, getting in toward the Mobile, Alabama region, and very close there, just west of Panama City. All modes of severe weather will be in play, including a few tornadoes there. Watch out for overnight tornadoes down in this region as well. And then the yellow area with possible severe. That could extend as far north there as southern Arkansas, north central Mississippi into central Alabama, and then back just to the east of the I-35 corridor, east of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Then as we go into Tuesday, into Wednesday time frame, we do have possible severe moving east across southeastern Alabama, getting into Georgia there, into southern South Carolina and most of Florida. So places there like Montgomery, Alabama, Macon, Georgia, getting over there towards Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, Panama City, Orlando, Tampa could be in play with that as we go from Tuesday into Wednesday. Again, tornadoes will be in play there as well. Overall, this is going to be a very wet system. We're going to have beneficial rains, but also a lot of this rain will be falling in about a 2 to 3 day period. So this is definitely going to be coming at a fast clip and heavy rainfall rates for the East Coast. There are areas here from portions of the I-95 corridor that see some of this heavy snow. We do have some concern for flooding there on top of our snowpack, but also across the southeast where we see widespread 2 to 4 inches or more of rain from Monday the 8th through Wednesday the 10th. That could lead to some flooding concerns. So Monday into Tuesday, we have that marginal to slight risk for flooding, mainly across the deep south here, especially there across the Gulf Coast. And then we have a large area of a slight risk here from the Carolinas, Virginia, up into the Delmarva region, and then getting up toward I-95, and a small moderate risk of flash flooding potential there into far southern New York State and eastern portions of Pennsylvania, and especially northern New Jersey, Tuesday into Wednesday. Then on the cold side, we have a snowstorm potential for the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and southeastern Canada, and even into some extent the northern New England region. So let's take you back here to the Midwest. This is on Monday through Wednesday. You can see a decent swath of about 4 to 8 inches of snow here, setting up from central and northern Michigan, back through eastern Wisconsin there, including the Green Bay, Milwaukee areas, getting down into north central Illinois, Chicago, Rockford, Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, and then getting down further to the south, Hannibal, Quincy, and then getting in toward Missouri, Kirksville, Missouri in play there, maybe Springfield, Missouri as well during that time frame. Moving it further east, southeastern Canada, we could be seeing some decent snows well to the north there of Toronto, into southern Ontario, into southern Quebec there as well, including potentially Montreal, and then across northern New England, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and western Maine will be adding to our snowpack during the early and middle portion of next week. Then beyond next week, we're going to reset the weather pattern again. You can see by Wednesday, here's your 500 millibar heights, and you can see the blues are definitely showing the colder air aloft, and then the greens and the yellows show more of the milder Pacific air, and that will be shoved further down to the south. And then by Friday, look at this big cold pocket aloft of air, and you have a thermal gradient setting up somewhere across the Ohio Valley and the Mississippi Valley. And what I mean by that is there's going to be warmer air to the east and very cold Arctic air to the west. And where those meet, that's going to be the track of our new low pressure system by next weekend. So between roughly that January 10th and Sunday, January 14th timeframe, we're going to have another one of these strong southern stream waves pushing into portions of the Texas Panhandle, and that will develop into a strong low pressure system and then move up into the western Tennessee Valley and then into the western or central Ohio Valley by next weekend. And this could result, here's the European model precipitation for next weekend between January 13th and January 15th. Noticed a very heavy deformation snow band up here somewhere in the vicinity of the Great Lakes into the Midwest. And obviously this is several days out, so things can still change. But looking at this, they're very close. The GFS model here, a little bit more bullish on the snow, but notice it's across the Ohio Valley with the track of that system. So areas east with the milder air, likely again, the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, the Southeast, and Mid-Atlantic will be seeing the heavy rain and severe weather potential further south, and then the very heavy snow setting up for the Great Lakes and the Midwest if this track holds. And looking even at the GEFS ensemble guidance for several days out, this is about 6, 7, 8 days out or so. These are very bullish numbers that we're seeing. Don't really focus though on the numbers, focus more on the placement of the snow. And you can see very similar track to what we're seeing early on next week with that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday system, again from Michigan into eastern and southeastern Wisconsin through western Indiana, much of the Illinois Valley here, including Chicago, Milwaukee, and getting all the way down in toward the St. Louis region in Missouri with that snow track and with that next weekend storm potential. And just to confirm that, the experts over at the Climate Prediction Center already several days out between that 13th and 15th time frame, adding in not only a slight risk, but a moderate risk for heavy snow up here across that very region. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. And then the big player will be the polar vortex. Remember about a week and a half ago, I was warning all you folks about the polar vortex is coming. And here we go. We have a negative AO. That's your Arctic oscillation going very negative. And some of these ensembles are actually really plunging it here to -5, -6, even -7. So that is very formidable. And you can see the Climate Prediction Center does agree that between the 13th and the 19th of January, roughly that third week of January, we have that slight risk of hazardous cold moving in towards the east, but then that moderate to high risk of very, very cold temperatures and true Arctic air plunging into the Pacific Northwest, the Northern Rockies, and then down through the Plain States and into the Midwest during that period. And looking at that, here's your temperature anomalies. By Monday the 15th, the very middle of January, very dark blues, purples, and pinks here. That is 20 degrees below average in some areas, and it's January. So you know if you're 20 degrees below average, it's very cold, and you see that extending all the way through that 19th time frame. We'll start to modify the air a little bit as it goes all the way south, but look how far south it goes. Texas, Louisiana, down into the Dixie Valley region with that Arctic air by the end of the third week of January. So let's take a peek into those temperatures, those potential high temperatures on that Monday, January 15th timeframe. Yes, single digits on either side of zero likely for southern Canada, and then into the upper Midwest and into the Ohio Valley. Teens and 20s further south, southern plains, Tennessee and Ohio River Valley on up there into New England. And then looking at those wind chills, yes, double-digit wind chills in the teens below zero for the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes region on Monday during the day. And then going into Monday night, those potential low temperatures on the 15th, yeah, double digits below zero, possibly down as far south as Kansas, central and northern Missouri, central Illinois, into northern Indiana there with 10, 15 degrees below zero temperatures. Add in the wind and it just adds insult to injury. We could be seeing 20, 30, even 40 below zero wind chills by the middle of the month. And this isn't the only day. That only gets possibly worse by the time we get to that 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th time frame of January. Well, stick with me for updates on this channel as we continue to monitor several snowstorms, the polar vortex, and much more through January. And you can do so by subscribing to the channel down below for detailed weather breakdowns across North America and the tropics, and helping me get to 75,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Also, be sure to like the video down below if you like today's weather forecast. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend out there.